All right, hi, welcome to the Urban Outdoors and SoCal video. My name is Danny Milton, and today we're going to be doing some more camera testing. Just recently picked up the DJI Osmo Action 4. I've been running the Action 3 for about the last 9 months. 2 cameras on my chin mount here. This is the Action 4 and this is the GoPro Hero 11 Black. This is going to be the second comparison video that I'm doing with the A4. First video I did where I was comparing the A4 to the A3. I did a couple of runs here at Santiago Oaks, just like we are today. You want to click that link right there. Just showing you guys a little bit of what the image is going to look like, a couple small little differences here and there between the 2 cameras. So in today's video, we're going to be comparing the A4 to the GoPro Hero 11. Now the GoPro Hero 11 does have a larger sensor than the A4. There's also a couple other little things, you know, here and there between the 2 cameras. I really like the setup of the A4 or the A3 a lot better than the Hero 11. I've been using the Hero 11 as kind of like a back camera. Been using the A3 as my main front camera for about the last 9 months, like I said. I'm going to be doing a couple of runs. First run, we're going to do everything, both cameras, everything's going to be set to auto. The white balance, the shutter speed, the wind reduction is set to auto, which is what I normally do on the GoPro Hero 11 anyways. I'm going to show you guys what that looks like side by side going down the same exact trail. We're also going to show you what the audio sounds like. What you guys are going to be seeing in the video is just raw, unedited video. I'm not going to do any color correction. I'm not going to do any wind enhancement or reduction in the video. It's just all raw video. Second run we're going to do is I'm going to put in my custom setting for both of these cameras. I will put all those settings on the screen here so you can see all of the kind of minor tweaks that I do to these cameras to get the best video out of them without having to do too much, you know, editing afterwards. So after we're done here doing these runs, I'm gonna go home, check out the footage, see what it looks like, and I'll let you guys know what I think. If you really want to see the best image out of both of these cameras, I do recommend trying to watch these videos in 4K, also on a 4K screen. You know, if you're watching on your cell phone and you might have, you know, not great service, you're watching like 720p or maybe even down to like 244p, you're not gonna be able to see all of that detail that these cameras are gonna give you. So definitely try to watch it in the highest resolution possible. All right, run number 1, GoPro and the DJI Action 4, everything is set to auto. No EV comp adjustments, no white balance adjustments, everything's in auto. 4K 24. What else? Wind reduction is turned to auto as well. That's what I normally run anyways. Neither camera has any wind muffs or dead cats. And yeah, first run, see how it goes. Got a little rain last night, so hopefully some of the dust got knocked down a little bit. Not very windy today, maybe 5-mile-an-hour wind at the most. You can definitely tell some people came out on the road this morning. Some fresh tracks on the ground. Ew! It's a fun little trail. Pretty short, but great for tests like this because I can get back up to the top real quick and do it again. All right, there we go. All right, run number 3. I got custom settings on both cameras now. Typically I run the DJI Action cameras with a color balance of 5600, but the GoPro doesn't do 5600. It either does 55 or 6000. So I switched the A4 to 5500, so they're both on the same color balance. The Action 4 has my other settings as well. I put those on the screen earlier in the video. Not much different than the auto settings except for the color balance, and then I turn the exposure down on the A4. I run the exposure at -0.7, and on the GoPro it's -0.5. You can either pick 0.5 or 1, -1 on the GoPro. So settings wise, a little bit more to do with the DJI camera. The two other things I have on that Action 4, so I have the sharpness -1 and the noise reduction +1. On the GoPro, got the color to normal, sharpness to medium. Well, we did that on the regular auto settings as well, so no change there. Okay, so after taking all that footage home and checking it out on my laptop, you can definitely tell there's a little bit more detail in the GoPro Hero 11 image than compared to the A4. I still like both the images coming out of both cameras. Talking about the sound quality, you know, each camera kind of had a positive and a negative. As far as the camera picking up my voice, the A4 was doing a much better job at that. It sounded much clearer, whereas on the GoPro Hero 11, my voice sounded like it was kind of underwater. Now, when you're talking about the wind reduction, though, the GoPro Hero 11 did do a better job of knocking down that wind noise just as we were riding down the trail. But on the A4, there was a lot more wind noise coming through and kind of, you know, blowing out the rest of the sound. I didn't notice any difference in the image stabilization. Both cameras did a really good job. You know, we're going down pretty fast on a mountain bike and through some pretty chunky stuff, and they both did really great. Just looking at the image overall, the GoPro Hero 11 image did come out a little bit warmer or a little bit more yellow than the A4 did. That's just a color setting, you know, that could definitely be corrected in camera or even, you know, post-production. I could tweak the A4 settings in camera and have it come out and look exactly the same as the GoPro Hero 11 image. When we did the second run with the custom settings, it looks like the GoPro Hero 11 image was a little bit closer in color, but was definitely a little bit brighter than the A4 image. That again is just a setting. You know, on the A4, I believe I had it set to -1 EV, so that's going to darken the image a little bit. Just a tweak to that really quickly would bring it just as bright as a GoPro Hero 11. One thing I did notice is there's a lot more fine tuning available in the A4 compared to the GoPro Hero 11. As far as the wind noise goes, typically whenever I would run the GoPro Hero 11, I would have a silicone case on it with some wind screens, you know, glued to the inside of it to knock down that wind noise. And it usually did a pretty good job as far as that goes. You know, it'd be a very simple fix on the A4, just putting a piece of windscreen on the front of the camera just to block the two microphones in the front, and I'm sure that would take care of all of that, you know, blown out wind noise that you're hearing while we're going down the trail. So just really quickly, I still do like using the DJI cameras compared to the GoPro Hero 11s. The DJI camera it's just easier to use. There's less glitches. You know, every time I turn this camera on and try and connect it to my Android phone, I never have a problem. It always pops up. It connects very quickly. Anytime, a lot of the times when I'm trying to connect a GoPro camera to my Android phone, it won't connect. The spinning wheel of death will happen. If I miss an update, I have to actually go and use my wife's iPhone to update it because the camera will not even connect to my Android device at all. Using things like the quick start button on the side of the A4 to switch through the different modes that I'm using, like say for instance right now, I'm using a very linear, very close-up angle on the A4 while I'm talking to it. When I have it on the front of my helmet, I'm going down trail, I'm gonna have it in the ultra-wide view. For me to change that, I have those presets already in the camera, and all I do is just push that quick start button and go through the different ones very quickly, and it's very easy to do. Whereas if I want to do something like that on the GoPro Hero 11, I'm probably going to have to take the camera off or take my helmet off and, you know, take a glove off one of my hands, especially if I'm out riding my mountain bike, take one of my gloves off, turn the back screen on and scroll through those different menu settings, even maybe switch to like from cinematic to whichever other one I want to switch to. That's a lot harder than actually just pushing that quick start menu button on the right of the A4, and it just shouts out which ones it's going to, as long as you remember which settings you have on each one. It makes it a lot easier than having to do that on the GoPro. And in the almost full year that I've been using the DJI cameras, I've never had the camera lock up on me while it's been recording, like it overheats or anything like that. That's happened to me several times using the GoPro cameras. I mean, as far back as the GoPro 7s, every once in a while that would happen. You might be recording and you try to stop and it just sits there and spins and spins and spins and you lose all of your recordings. So far for me, the DJI has been flawless as that goes. I'd never have a problem with the camera turning on or just glitching out on me. The one thing that I have had with the DJI Action 4 is sometimes those quick start menus, when I go to replace the camera, I don't know why, but sometimes when I replace the battery or take the SD card or something like that, those quick starts aren't selectable, so I just have to go into the menus and select those, and then everything works fine. That's very minor. It's not, you know, me losing any footage like I've done several times or happened to me several times using GoPro cameras. So thanks a lot for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Hopefully this comparison will kind of help you if you are planning on buying any of these cameras in the future. I know as of a couple days ago, the GoPro Hero 12 came out. I don't think I'm going to be buying that camera because after watching a couple of videos, it doesn't look like much of an upgrade. There's a bunch of software upgrade things that you can do, but as far as like hardware or anything like that, the camera looks almost identical as far as the sensor size and all that kind of stuff. The battery, they say, is supposed to last a little bit longer, but that's just because they took GPS recording out of the camera. So in my next video, I'm going to be doing a full review of this A4 camera, showing you guys all the different things that I like about it, how I use it for my mountain bike videos and things like that as well. So please stay tuned for that. I would definitely recommend the DJI cameras over the GoPro cameras for anybody who's making videos for YouTube. The camera is just a lot easier to use and it's much more reliable. All right, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, you guys. Do all that fun stuff for me, please. Smash that like button, share, comment, definitely subscribe. If you guys do have any questions, please leave those down in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can and try to help you guys out the best I can. And last but not least, click on one of the boxes in the corners. One will take you to a rides playlist, another to a favorite video. You click the logo in that corner, the Urban Outdoors and SoCal logo, to subscribe. Thanks a lot.